Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. We're back on the excavator. Just giving you guys a layout of how I'm set up before I get started. So the goal I've decided is to remove the excavator attachment and remove the loader so I can just get a base tractor to work on. It's too big and too heavy and too unwieldy like this. Unfortunately, I don't have heavy equipment to like forklifts and stuff to move this stuff. I did build this gantry. I don't know if you've got a major glare. I think I'm in the shade. I did build this gantry years ago. I use it to like pick military Jeep bodies up off the frames, Beetles up off the frames, the bodies. So I know I can hold a lot. This excavator looks pretty heavy to me. I'm gonna probably put a strap across the bottom here to stop the legs from potentially kicking out and chock the wheels. But the goal here is gonna be to put the chain fall up there, bring it down and attach it in here, right about here, pick it up, and then I have two pins. There's a pin here, and there's one right down there. These are already undone. These hydraulic lines I took off too because I was curious if there was fluid in it, and in fact there was a little bit. But anyway, those pins have to come out, and then I believe I can, using the gantry, I can pick the loader up and get it off the tractor. And then I'm going to move the gantry forward. I'm going to pick the bucket off. It looks like it's just these guys here that I can get an impact wrench on. Got some pretty nice ratchet straps with this the guy left on it. I'm going to pick the bucket off, set the bucket down, and then I'll pull the loader arms off. Same idea, you know, just kind of, the goal is to get this to, like I said, a more usable package. I went and looked at a tractor yesterday, another TO-35. Guy's got brand new tires on it. He's had the tractor for a really long time. It's fully disassembled. I'm trying to negotiate price with the guy right now, but if I can get that, that's a runner. That would allow me to take the best parts of this, put them with the best parts of his, and he's got a lot of new parts, and then restore that tractor and then reinstall all of this, you know, exoskeleton and all this stuff. So that's where we're at. That's the plan right now. If I don't get that tractor, we'll keep working on this. The motor is locked up. I did determine that. I haven't pulled the plugs and started to put juice in and try to free it up or any of that stuff yet. What has me primarily concerned about this engine is that the water pump has been removed from here, and that's been open to, I mean, rain. I don't know how much rain would get in it. My concern is that water's gotten in there and frozen and blown the block out. I don't see any evidence of that, but I'm not sure. So yeah, I'm not sure. That'll be the plan. Let's get it to be a tractor, and then we can work on a tractor, and then we can work on all the cool loader stuff, and it'll give us a chance to really get in and paint it and seal it and make this thing nice. So I'm gonna get set up, and we're gonna try to use this chain hoist to pick this excavator up. Hopefully it doesn't crush me. If it does, it'll be on film. So, you know, maybe I'll get some views. Either way, I'll be back in a second. All right, it's time. I got the rigging set up. I got the chain fall. I put a fabric strap around the pin up there. Next step is going to be these guys. So these pins are retained by this plate here. I got to take these screws out and then try to drive the pin out. I used the tool for this because taking them out is actually, they're kind of, I don't know if they're, I'll show you guys, they're like, the threads are boogered up. I don't know if you can get it to focus on it. Come on, focus on the screw. All right, you can't see it, but these threads are messed up on these. They're actually hard to get out. I don't know if it's because they've just been pounded on or what's going on, but this thing kind of makes it easier if I can get it to swing enough to break it loose. Yeah, see, this one's real stuck. Wouldn't be at all surprised if one of these snaps on me. All right, well, anyway, I'm going to take this one out, I'm going to take those two out, and then we'll come back for driving out the pins. And maybe this thing falls, maybe it stays up, I don't know. We'll find out together. Alrighty, so screws are out of this. We just got to drive that retainer plate off. Trying to use a brass drift on as much of this as I can. Probably isn't necessary for everything, but makes me feel better that I'm not going to mess something up. Let's see if we can wiggle this guy out now. All right. That one's off. Down here, I got the screw out already. Does this just want to come out this time down here? Yeah, kinda does. We'll give it a little bit of brass drift. All right, so that was the retainers for the pins. In theory, I'm going to probably say that a lot on this video. In theory, we are now ready to take some weight off of this and see how those are going to drive out. So I don't know how I'm going to film this. Let's see. So I assume everybody knows how a chainsaw works. I am going to take some slack up on this. All right, starting to pull it, and I'm going to look at the pin, and I'm looking like right here. I see a little bit of a gap. I'm going to pick this up until that gap starts to go away. Hopefully it goes away. That'll tell me that I'm actually raising this up. No, see, that gap is not going away. And I'm starting to pick the back of the tractor up, which I guess is a good thing because it means it can pull the weight of the tractor up. Let's just give it some taps. I don't expect a whole lot out of the rubber hammer for this, but okay. All right, well, I guess I should have not shit-talked the rubber hammer. Let me go get the tripod, and I will stand you guys up to watch these come out. Hopefully, you'll be able to watch them as they come out, and not as this thing falls and crushes me or something. All right, from this angle, you should be able to see everything as I drift them out. So I know that one's moving. There's the brass drift. I actually feel like I want to get the bottom one out first. So I feel like the top one will hold it better. The bottom one might get hung. Yeah, I can't hit down here very good. All right, I'm gonna go grab the Gigantor hammer. I'll be right back. Hold on a second here. Okay, I got a much larger hammer. So I'm gonna try to pound out the bottom one. Oh man, I have like so little room. How am I gonna do this? Oh, all right, well, it's a big hammer. It's moving real good. I don't know how to hit it like this though. I need something smaller to get in there and hit it with. Something like well, since it's moving, let's, oh, okay. So it just slid back. I don't know if you guys noticed that. So I haven't taken up all the weight. I'm gonna try to pick it up with the chain hoist again to take some of that back out of that. There we go. Okay, it just lifted the whole thing up. So now, I don't know, I kind of want to get that bottom one further out before I go crazy with this one. I need a smaller punch. Let me go grab one. All right, 2-pound hammer and a smaller drift. I'm going to be in position to run if this thing decides to go spinning out of control. Oh wow, that pin's pretty much just dropping right out now that I got the weight off it. Okay, that pin's out. Oof. Big pin. And then this one here, it's just dropping out. I kind of want to, I'm not going to put my hands in it, I'm just going to let it fall. All right. Well, that was anticlimactic. I think I hyped that up. I apologize. That was not nearly as, I don't know. I felt like there was going to be fireworks doing that. So now that the pins are out and all of the hydraulics are disconnected, I think this whole arm should be ready to come free. So, no, I'm not on camera a whole lot in my videos, but that's down. I want to be able to get the heck out of the way. There it goes. Okay. I am moving myself so that, oh, there, it's free. Okay, all right. So I'm going to try to turn it, grab the letter downer handle. I can't believe the gantry's doing this, to be honest with you. Now, how can I put this so that my wife is not going to hate this as much? Okay. I feel like that's a pretty good spot if I can get it to lay down. I'm not sure what you guys were able to see for that. So my hope is that I can get the thing to lay over that way on that wood. Got our pile of dog toys here. Let me move that out the old way. And I got that splitter over there. Probably don't want the little kitty bat in the way, and I don't want my fancy ratchet strap that I just acquired in the way. Don't worry, I'll edit this out. You'll have no idea how my yard is a mess. All right. Probably won't edit that out either, by the way. All right, so I'm going to try to get it to lay over that way now, and it should lay on the wood. Doesn't solve the problem of my wife absolutely hating it. Oh, wow, it's loose. All right, I'm probably going to have to help it. Okay, we got to chock the wheels, which, if you recall earlier in the video, I said I was going to do. I'll put you guys here, and with luck, you'll see it ease down and crush that splitter. That'd be cool. Oh boy. Okay, the whole gantry is going to tip. Kind of don't want that to happen like that. So, all right. Yeah, we got a physics problem. So it's leaning over, but it's going to pull the whole gantry down. Probably make it fall pretty good. The only way I could stop that would be if I could pick this end up here and move it in to center the load better, or I can drag the gantry backwards some. So I'm gonna pause the video. I gotta move that log splitter. I'm gonna pull the gantry back so that it's centered over the load, so it's putting it straight down. One moment. All right, we're straight again. Hopefully I can lay this down onto that pile of wood and make a nice ornament for the yard. Right. Success. That thing's real heavy. You guys probably guessed. I was guessing too. Holy, I think that's got to be every bit of 1,500 pounds, if not more. But it's down. You know, it's laying on the pile of wood over here like I wanted. It's not on any of the lines. I'll probably use the jack and jack it up a little bit. Actually, I might use the hoist and pick that up and reposition that one log there. That one log there. But yeah, it's off. So I am gonna, wow, You know what's going to be a lot of fun? Anybody who's done this kind of stuff before knows that this is the easy part. Lining that back up onto those again, man, I'm really not looking forward to that. But look at all the room for activities we have now. I mean, we can get to everything. These cylinders look okay. They'll polish up good. These cylinders, there's some scarring on, but not as bad as the actual excavator itself. I'm on the fence about whether I'm going to take this whole tank and housing assembly off or not. My hesitation is just, it's adapted into the tractor in weird ways. Like the 3-point arms back here actually are connected like a strut rod almost. I'm just not sure how it all goes together. I'll probably end up taking it all off. Like these cylinders, these tilt cylinders, I'll drive out with a pin. These are what I was talking about with the 3-point. You can see the 3 points here, and it actually attaches to this here. I don't have any idea what that's going to work like, or what happens if I were to turn the 3-point control. Would that pick it up? I don't know. So I'm going to reposition the mount over here, and we'll pick up the bucket. All right, so we are repositioned. That's on the ground. I've repositioned the gallows, which we affectionately call it around here. So there's a hook welded to the front of this. What I'm hoping is going to happen here is I'm going to take the back bolts out of this. It is going to swing down. Let me back this up a little, and then I'll be able to, have this straight up to hold it. In a perfect world, I would have retracted the cylinders to do this, but as you can see, this doesn't run as good as it used to. So I'm going to pull these bolts out. I may get a jack underneath here. In fact, I probably will put a jack underneath here to hold it, then I can let it down easy. So let me get that jack set up and I'll be right back. So I just realized what you guys were probably all saying. Why are we doing it this way? The reason it's up in the air is because this wood has been conveniently rammed in here. Why wouldn't I just use this to pick it up, remove the wood, let the bucket sit on the ground, then take the bolts out? Excellent question. I'm glad you asked. Let's do that. So, move these guys out of the way for now. And we're going to pick the bucket up to get the wood out. Okay. Realize you guys couldn't watch me struggling with the chain hoist. That's probably good. So, let's remove the free firewood that we got. Oh, there's like a nodule on this side. 1000% gonna cut this up and burn it. Try to keep my fingers on these scissor points. Now, let's watch the magic as the bucket goes down. Okey-doke. So we've created a safer removal environment now. I'm going to see if I can get it to go down a little lower because I'd like the back of the bucket to be on the ground. Well, that wasn't hard because I just had the chainsaw holding it. All right, bolts. Let me get the tools. All right. Get these out. Well, let's try to get these out. Okay, that was way easier than I thought it was going to be. some reason the bottom one on both sides had a washer. Top one, not so much. All right, I thought that was going to be more of a fight. It wasn't. Yeah, oop, there goes that one. Okay, one down. Let's see if the same thing happens on the other side. This bucket's nice. There we go. Two. That one's going to come out. I imagine the bucket should just sit there. Alright, it captured my drift. So let's do the same thing over here. Also, capture the drift. Yeah. No, it's too high. Nope, too far. There's like a sweet spot where it loosens off. Okay. Sweet spot achieved. So, now the bucket's free. That is the bucket out of the way. Looking a lot more like a regular tractor now, folks. I do think while I have access to the gantry, I'm gonna try and pull the, ooh, that's a Hornet. He's like, hey guys. Yeah, I'm gonna use the gantry to pick these top pieces off and these pieces. I mean, I'd love to be able to pick this whole thing off, but I gotta go and do a little bit of research on how it attaches. I think I can just unbolt the axle piece and take this whole kit and caboodle out of the way, because it bolts on at the front there too. So let me go do some research and I'll be back. All right, I got a plan. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this pin here, and I'm gonna pull probably this pin here, and that's gonna release this hydraulic arm and this arm here. I'm gonna do that on both sides. That's gonna let me take the whole front loader arm assembly off, because it's not two parts. I can't just take like this half off, that half off, like some of the other ones I've seen. It's obviously welded up in the middle here. So yeah, then the other thing I have to do is I'm gonna try to leave as much of this connected as I can. So I think I'm gonna unbolt the hydraulic valve. I'm gonna pull the fill off of it. That's this thing here. This is the, it's interesting, like I'm learning about this as I go, but it actually uses all of these pipes. There's the fill for the hydraulic. That's probably an air bleed, but this whole pipe here actually holds fluid. There's a reservoir down there, and that's where the tank is for the front loader's hydraulics. It's in these pipes. So what I got to do is unhook. This is where it pulls the fluid from to go into the pump. I got to take this off here, and then I can take this valve off, and I'm going to try to just you know, leave it with the arms, because they're already attached to the hydraulic cylinders. Oh, you know what's probably going to stop me is these are going in front of it and they're hard as a rock. All right, I'm going to take some of this stuff apart. I don't think anybody wants to watch me take hydraulic lines off, so I'm going to get all this stuff unhooked, and then I'll come back when we get the gantry ready to like lift it off. Okay, we're back at it. Again, I didn't show you guys unhooking all the hydraulic lines because it's hydraulic lines. Like, if you really wanted to watch me unhook them, I guess leave a comment. I don't even like doing it. I can't imagine people like to watch it. Other than that, I just drove out the pins. Pin there, pin here, same on the other side. And with those pins out, and obviously I didn't take this pin all the way out yet, or that one, that should have the whole loader arm assembly. I should be able to pull it back off. So I put the gantry back up. I got a strap around it, and I am going to start to pull that up. I'm hoping it comes forward as it goes off. I don't know that it will. I kind of want it to. So you notice I like have a little bit of a kick to the gallows here, so that as it goes up, it wants to go forward. I'm gonna have to figure out how to support the hydraulic cylinders here. These guys are gonna want to flop all the way down as it starts to move off. So I'll probably have to stop and then get a ratchet strap or a bungee cord or something and strap them up. And then I got to find a place to put all this stuff. I don't know where it's going to go. I mean, for now, I just want to get it off. So, without further ado, let's see what happens when we start to pull the chains. I got some tension on it. I'm going to try and get these last pins out now. Okay. So, in theory, this is now free to lift off. May have to rethink the way that I have the straps. You know what? I probably should put the straps here, because what I think is going to happen is I'm going to pick it straight up and the straps are going to slide up. So let me pause it and reposition those. Alrighty, let's try this again, see if it's a little more balanced. We have liftoff. Alright, so I do have cylinders over there. They're dangling. You know what might be easier? I think I'm going to pull these two cylinders off both sides. They're actually heavy and they're swinging down kind of far. So I'm going to pull those off. It's now my punch is in there, taking the weight. So then I can pick this up and liberate my punch, pull this off. Okay. Let's get these hoses. What's left of these hoses. Ugh. Okay, so with that done, this is a lot lighter. Way better. Alright, let's swing it over that way. And we're just going to use the gantry. Let me move you guys back a little bit. I'm going to use the gantry to pull the whole thing out. swivels on these have seen better days. That's that stuff. I'm going to, I think, just put it over there on top of that for now. And then we'll come back and we'll assess what else is left. Yeah, be right back. All right, so got the loader sort of apart, sitting over here, doing its thing. Once again, the gallows came in real handy. Check out the twist in those camber, man. This thing is stanced, but not in a good way. It's bent back too. This tire seems like it's about 2 inches further back than this tire is. This whole front end is tacoed. Looks like up there, it's bent. It's all welded together. I mean, it's a replaceable part. That's just somebody overloaded the loader. So I think the final major disassembly step that I'm going to do here is to pull these stabilizers off. Certainly the arm, if not the hydraulic cylinder. I'd like to take the hydraulic cylinder off because it looks heavy. Just not sure about those pins and how hard they're going to be to get at. But I think these arms here are just this pin. It just goes all the way through. There's like a pin that rides through. This one actually looks like it's kind of coming off of it. This one does too. I suspect they come through from that side out this way, so they'll kind of come out here, which means I got to find a way to whack on them. I don't know how easy or hard that's going to be, but let me get you guys set up and we will find out together. Okay, so it's the next day for me. I didn't really film it because I don't think watching me drive out pins is really all that much fun for anyone. But I removed the tilt cylinders that were here, that went this way, that pushed the excavator side to side. And I removed the cylinders that attach to these outriggers. I was going to remove the outriggers as well. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to, or at least at this point want to do that, only because I feel like, I mean, obviously I think they got to push out from this to this because they would hit the wheel, but this pin is really seized. They're pretty seized on here. I got to take the wheels off basically to drive these pins out, which is fine. It's no big deal. I'll do that. But I'm not going to do that right now because I need to put wheels on it anyway. So what I'm probably going to do is just tie these up out of the way. And that way I can move the tractor, do the things. They're not that heavy. They're not going to significantly add to the weight. The other thing I'm going to try to get done today is I want to pull off, man, more bees. I don't know, wasps love this thing. I want to pull these arms off. They actually are the tank for the loader's hydraulics. Come down here. I believe, there's the pump. It's PTO driven. I believe to drain this tank here, I'm probably going to need to get, maybe this comes off. I think this is probably the drain. It should certainly allow these tubes to drain. I'll get the oil out of it, and then I think I can remove all of this stuff by just unbolting. There's a bolt here, and then there's a bolt up there, and I think I can take it off. It looks like there's probably supposed to be a bolt here too, but it's not attached, and on that side it looks like it's sheared off or missing. Either way, I think I can pull this apart just by removing those two bolts, or that one bolt and these bolts up here. The bee. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna also, today is degreaser day. I got a big gallon of Purple Power. We're gonna clean all this up and degrease it once we get the things off. So I'll get you guys set up, and we'll start pulling the upper arms of that tank apart after we drain it. All right, just for continuity, I'm gonna pull this. Something else, I'll ask you guys, put it in the comments if you have any ideas. This bar is bent. So like, let's see if I can show you guys. See how it's got like a waffle in it that goes in? It also seems to go down as well. And this is the fill for the hydraulic fluid. And I believe this tube here is a crossover to allow that one to fill to keep the level. It's probably not the end of the world, but it'd be nice to straighten it. I thought about putting a jack on it and trying to jack it up, but because it's pushed into, I don't know. I got to come up with a way to straighten it out. It's pretty beefy pipe. But yeah, if anybody has any ideas. But we're gonna just pull this whole thing off. I was holding on to not taking it off because I thought I was gonna use it to straighten it, but definitely not gonna do that. So let's get this guy off. don't know if this is going to go springing anywhere. All right, bolts are out. Who wants to take bets it's heavier than I think it is and that I'm going to regret trying to remove this myself right now? Especially in my stupid shoes that are ridiculous, that I'm not prepared to get something dropped on. Yeah, let's pull it off. I'm just going to try to wiggle it to over here. But I do believe, not terrible. Drag it out of frame. I wouldn't want to deny you guys the opportunity to watch me struggle a little bit more. I got my saw trapped. I had to cut that hose and the blade went through and then I couldn't get it back out. All right, let's move the final piece of the puzzle here into position. Alrighty, so let's do a tour. We've got full access now to this. Oh, you know what we should do? Maybe we can have an unveiling. Let's see if we can pull the hood off this thing. That'd be cool. I don't think it's held on by anything. Then we can get a good look at the motor and see just what we're in for. Maybe help make that decision on what we're gonna do. Oh yeah. Wow, the unveiling to a gas tank. Well, that was slightly anticlimactic, folks. Sorry. Thought that would be a cooler look. Guess I didn't really consider where the gas tank was. So, all right. You guys saw where we were before. You know, we've got the loader off. We've got the tank and the protection for the loader off. We've been able to remove the excavator and lay it here. I'm going to probably move this before I put the gantry away, just to have it a little more stable than this. And I think the next thing I'm going to do is degrease and pressure wash this thing. It's pretty gross, as you all can see. There's a lot of oil kind of coming out of it. But yeah, so next steps. We are going to clean this real good, and then we've got some decisions to make. I'll probably do a video on trying to free the motor up. I'll pull the gas tank off. We'll see if we can free up the engine. If we can free up the engine, there's a chance that I just fix this and don't get that parts tractor that I saw. Because if I can fix it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really need it. The thing about the parts tractor is it's got the new tires on it, which is really most of the value. And these are obviously, I can't even roll it. This would be awesome if it had tires on it right now, because once I pressure wash it, I could roll it into the garage and then actually work on it like a normal person instead of sweating in the 9,000 degree heat today. But we'll see what happens. So I think I'm going to cut this video off here. I may do one with the pressure washing. I feel like people tend to like that, or I may just make that part of the let's get the engine unstuck video. But either way, as always, thanks for watching. If you guys have comments on what you'd like to see on this versus what you don't, I'm trying to show what I think is the neat stuff. You know, I'm not showing driving out pins that are stuck. I am showing removing it. And one other thing I want to just add to this. So this guy here is the hero of the day. This gantry, I made this with plans I found on the internet with wood that I actually had laying around when I got my Ferret. It's a wheeled armor. It's British wheeled armor, which will be in, I'm going to do a series on that because it's been sitting dormant for a while. But anyway, when I got that, it was a bare naked hull, and the guy had built like a caddy to hold it and to kind of wheel it around. This is what I turned the caddy into, including the casters that are on the bottom. They were what he was wheeling it around his shop with. But I couldn't do this project without this gantry. This stuff is way too heavy for like a person to move, or like an engine crane, engine picker. Like this needs something way bigger than that. I don't have heavy equipment. I mean, you guys watching the channel know I don't have a big forklift or a front end loader or anything cool, which I wish I had, but I don't, to do this kind of stuff. So the gantry was the only thing that was going to allow me a shot to disassemble this and actually fix this the right way, as opposed to just let me work around everything and try to get it running. So if anybody's got any questions, I think I still have the plans for the gantry. Let me know. It's one of the most useful things that I think I have around here for these bigger projects. And like I think I told you guys, I've used it to put bodies on air-cooled Volkswagens. I've used it to do bodies on military Jeeps. It's just good when you're like me and you just kind of work by yourself all the time. It's that extra person to do the things. So anyway, thanks for watching. Would love it if you subscribe. Keep an eye on the channel for all the different projects. We got a lot of stuff cooking between the tractor. We've got the 78 convertible Beetle we've been doing a bunch of work to. We're going to work on the Ferret soon. I'm going to be putting a Type 4. That's got a Type 4. The bus has a Type 4 engine in it now, but it's pretty gross. And all the parts laying under the bus right now are another Type 4 engine that we're going to do a series on rebuilding. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Thanks.